So y'all, oh my gosh, y'all are gonna find this so hilarious. I literally thought I had been recording for the past 20 minutes. Wasn't recording a doggone thing. So here we go. Take two. Oh, okay. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Her Path, Her Pace, where growth meets grace. I'm your host, Shay, and thank you for tuning in and joining me for another week for another episode. Yes, baby. Yeah. Hi, sugar. That's Jaguar. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Because as I said, I thought I was already recording and found out that I wasn't. Let's go ahead and get caught up with life lately. So, what's going on in my world, guys? I took myself out on a date this past weekend, and it was so fun. It was so great. And when I say I took myself out on a date, like I truly romanticized the whole process and everything. Like I took the time. Huh? What, baby? I'm sorry. Give me a good second, okay? Give me a second. Mommy got to record. Let mommy record. Let mommy record. Okay, but I took myself out on a date and like I wore this pretty like purple dress and I felt so girly and like cutie patootie and frilly and it just was so nice and yeah, it just made me feel really good and I took myself to go see Yumi and Tuscany. If you haven't seen it, you should go see it. The movie was great. I don't know what these people are talking about it not being accurate. How many rom-coms have you seen that are actually how many fictional let's just start there. Forget even rom-coms. Fictional movies are just completely accurate. None. There it's fiction for a reason. Because it's a bit highly improbable, not likely to happen in real life. Made up story type deal. But Yumi and Tuscany was really good. Italy has always been on my bucket list of places that I want to travel. So now I really, really want to go travel to Italy. And I'm not a huge rom-com fan, but I'm happy I paid to go see it, and I definitely will buy it once it's available on streaming platforms. So yeah, there's my take on that. And then after I went to the movies, I went and got my eyebrows done, and I got me some boba tea. And after I got me some boba tea, I took myself to Barnes and Nobles, and I got me a few books. I went ahead and finished buying all the books in the Kennedy Ryan series. Kennedy Ryan's books in her Skyland series. So I have Before I Let Go, This Could Be Us, and Can't Get Enough. I've had This Could Be Us for the past year, but when I bought This Could Be Us, Barnes and Noble didn't have can't they didn't have Before I Let Go in stock, and Can't Get Enough wasn't released yet. And so I was like, oh, I'll just wait. And so I haven't read This Could Be Us until now. So now I'm reading it. Like I told y'all, I'm gonna get back into reading and reading for fun and all of the things. And so now I'm reading. It's like, yeah. But yeah, so after I bought those books, I went and sat outside for a little bit, read a bit, and then I came in and took a nap. And I went to trivia night with my mommy and my daddy. And it was so fun. It was definitely a lot longer than I expected it to be. It took a lot longer than I expected. And no lie, by like round, I want to say 7 of the trivia, my brain was kind of tired. Because, like I said, I wasn't anticipating on being there that long and actually, having to use my brain that much. But that's the thing. It revealed to me that actually I know a lot more and I have a lot more stored up in this head of mine than I recognize and that I give myself credit for. And I really should just stop second guessing my knowledge because I do know things and I am a pretty smart girl. And I did retain a lot more information than I realized. And that's just kind of crazy. And that's what that trivia night showed me. But all in all, taking myself out this weekend was really nice. It just made me feel so good. It really did. It really made me feel good. And it was something that I needed and I didn't realize I needed it. So yeah, I suggest everybody take themselves out on a date. And if you can't take yourself out on a date, do at least one thing to pour back into yourself this week. Because we all need that little reminder sometimes to take care of self. And that was just my way of taking care of self. And it was nice and it was fun. But yeah. So yeah, now that we're all caught up, let's talk about them glow up goals. So, how's everybody doing with the 75-day challenge? I gotta be honest with y'all, I have absolutely no earthly idea what day we are technically on. I have not been tracking the days. Like, I've still been journaling, I've still been reading my Bible. Like I said, I finally got and incorporated the books into my daily practice. I've been reading more than 10 pages a day, but that's neither here nor there. I've been reading, and that was the point. Like, so I'm still going on my walks. I'm still working out, stretching, doing things, daily movement and everything like that. I just haven't been tracking the days like at all. I haven't been keeping up with the days. So I'll have to get back to you guys to let you know what day we're technically on, because I don't know. I've been going with the flow. Like, it's truly become a part of my routine. So I haven't been keeping up with the days. But if you are, let me know down in the comments what day we're technically on, if you know and I don't, because I don't know. I've just been doing the thing. But don't forget to do hashtag HPHP75-day challenge so I can know what you guys got going and take me on your walks and on your journeys so we can see the glow up after everything, So cool. Now that we're all glowing, growing, and going, let's see who we are in step with today. Okay, so for this week's shared steps, I want to give flowers to her, also known as Gabriella Wilson. And fun fact, HER actually stands for having everything revealed. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know down below. But I'm pretty sure that's what it stands for. And I think that alone says so much about her journey. Because what really stands out to me about her is how grounded she's remained in who she is. Because in an industry that's constantly trying to rush you, shape you, and tell you who to be, she's always moved at her own pace. And she's kind of just always done her own thing, She didn't come in loud. She didn't come in trying to prove anything. She literally hid behind glasses and we didn't know what her face looked like for a long time. We only got her silhouette, She just showed up, consistent, intentional, and she just let her work speak for itself. And over time, everything has slowly but surely been revealed. Her talent, her growth, and her impact. From her early projects to Grammy wins to performing on some of the biggest stages. But none of it ever felt rushed. None of it felt like she skipped steps. It felt like she honored every part of her process. And I think that's what I really respect. Because in a world where everything feels like it has to happen fast, she's an example that you can, for sure, take your time. You can grow quietly and you can build something real and still become everything you're meant to be. And that ties into this episode because sometimes we overlook our own growth because it doesn't look big or loud or even have immediate results. But growth isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just consistency. Sometimes it's just showing up. Sometimes it's simply choosing yourself over and over again. So, the shared step here is this. You don't have to rush your process to become who you're meant to be. You don't have to skip steps to feel like you're making progress. It's okay to take the long way around. Every step you take, every quiet win, every moment that you you choose to keep going. All builds something, even if you can't fully see it yet. So, this to Gabriella Wilson, to the one and only Miss Her. Thank you for showing us what it looks like to grow with intention, to stay grounded in who you are, and to trust the timing. So thank you. All right, now let's set the mood with some tunes. So, and for this episode, the playlist that you can have playing on in the background or stuff like that, because I want to talk about, taking this, checking, like, just being present and taking count and slowing down and, just all of those things. And so for this playlist, the first, the first song on the playlist is Happy by Pharrell. And I like that song because, some days it really is about choosing joy. It really is about choosing to be happy. And that's what that song is for me. Sometimes it's a reminder to choose to be happy and just be present and yeah, clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. I'm happy. And sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I put that song on and I sing it until I feel it. Okay. And so that's why I say it's about choosing joy, choosing to be happy sometimes, because that's what you need in life sometimes. The next song is I Like That by Janelle Monáe, because also over time, even if you don't feel genuinely happy, you will trick your brain into being happy, okay? You can trick your body and your mind, and then your perspective all of a sudden one day shifts, and you're just like, hold on. I actually do like me. I actually do like that. And that's kind of something that happened for me. And not because I necessarily like didn't like change, like completely change as a person in sense of like doing away with all the things, but no, like finally coming to terms with all of me and recognizing all of me. And I'm not going, I don't want to say acceptance. I don't want to say accepting all of me because I feel like I don't want to say that, but being able to see myself and truly be like, no, I do like that. All of the things that the world, all of the things that people, all of the labels and negative connotations and all the bad juju and all that stuff that people have tried to put on me. I mean, like, no, you can't make me feel bad about me being me. Like, I like me. I genuinely like me, and I like who I'm becoming, and I like, I like who I was, and I like how, she did what she had to do to get through it. Did what I had to do to get through it. And here we are now, and I like me. I like all of me. I like everything that makes me me. I like that. Point blank, period. And then last song, because it ain't always been that way. And there's been times and days where I've been told, oh my goodness, Shay, you just look so happy. Oh my goodness, Shay, how are you so optimistic and so positive? It's God in me. So the last song to round out the playlist is God in Me by Mary Mary. Because honest to truth, honest to goodness, it's the God in me that you see and shining through. Because yeah, I haven't been doing this on my own. This is not off of my own strength, off my own accord. It's the God in me. You think I got it all together? Bah! You don't know the times and many, many days, many nights I cried and was in here praying and down on my knees, begging and pleading and worn and torn and just having to give it all up to God. And then just walking out the door and still being able to walk through the day with a smile on my face. That was God. That was God. That is God. And it's the God in me. So that's how we're going to round out this playlist. Okay? So yeah, cool. Now that the mood is set, let's walk through this thing, y'all. Okay, so I want to start by talking about recognizing small wins and how, for me, being able to recognize small wins like have been helpful in all those things. And honest to goodness, a win is a win. There really is no such thing as a small win, big win, meaning in between win. A win is a win. A win is a win. Okay. I don't care. But for the sake of this episode and talking about, healing and growing and being able to pause and be present in moments, we're going to acknowledge quote unquote small wins because I feel like sometimes you'll move so fast in life and you're going so full throttle that you don't take the time to pause and smell the roses and actually see how far you have come. Okay. And so that's why those small wins matter because they force you to slow down. And when you slow down, things were like you're able to reflect and you see things and you learn new things about yourself that you possibly didn't recognize in the moment until you were able to slow down and pause. And I know it's easier said than done, forcing yourself to slow down and pause, especially with everything going on, but it's necessary because you can get so caught up. You can get so caught up. So you have to take the time to slow down and pause and recognizing and taking the time to look at those small wins for me helped me slow down. It forced me to slow down. And when it forced me to slow down, it helped me also stay grounded in the present and in yeah, just stay grounded and present. Not even just stay grounded in the present, but to stay grounded and present. Because yeah, and when I say I had to start small, I really, really, really mean like small. By simply starting off with gratitude and waking up in the morning and being like, thank you, God, for waking me up this morning. And, you know, I didn't always feel that. I didn't always feel that. And it started because my dad, my pops, he was the one, he was like, even if you can't do nothing in the morning, the first thing you need to do when you wake up is thank God when you wake up. Because it's another day. It's a blessing to see another day, another chance. Because it really is. Because so many people close their eyes and they don't get to see. They don't know that that's their last breath. They don't know that they won't see the next day. And so it really is a blessing. It really is a win, to wake up and be able to go and go after whatever you want to go after again the next day and to keep going and to persevere. Like that really is a win. That really is a blessing. And like I said, I didn't always feel it. I still said it. And eventually, over time, the more consistent I was with saying it, the more truth it started to carry. And I started to truly believe it. And it held weight down in my heart. And I faked the funk until I felt it. And yeah, and now that I truly do have gratitude and waking up, and I'm not gonna be honest, it's not always easy because yeah, you wake up and you still gotta face the same problems if you didn't deal with it the day before. Same thing still gonna be there. Same issues, same like, and that can be a booger to wake up to and have to deal with. But no buts. It could be a booger to have to wake up to it and have to deal with it. Like it really is and really can be. You're still able to wake up and you get another chance at it though, and that's a blessing. And there's like, yeah, that's the blessing, and that is a win. Truly waking up the next day to be able to keep going, to try again, is a win. And for me, the win in being and learning how to truly be grateful and have gratitude with God, with waking up, with everything that I still had going on, and still being able to say thank you, God, for waking me up and believing it is a win for me in my book. And we're gonna keep going on into music school when I had another win. And and it was very important that we had this. I was in my pop styles class in our end of the year project, well, not end of the year, end of the term project, end of the semester project, we had to record two covers of two different styles that we covered in the class because it was a pop styles class, not a pop music class, but a popular styles music class. So we covered popular genres of the music industry of modern times. For those who know, who know. So, but yes, if you didn't know, there is a difference between actual pop music and popular music. that's a bit music history, music nerd thing. But that's besides the point. In this class, we had to record covers to 2 opposing genres as our end of the semester project. Cool, cool. In the moment while I was doing it, I did not recognize or realize the growth that I had gained in from being in music school and all of the things that I've learned, and not even just like the technical stuff, but even the way it's built my artistry and built my way to communicate different things, because my engineer he was my engineer producer from my freshman year all the way until I graduated. And even he could recognize in the moment. He was like, "Oh, you want to do this? Oh, you're talking about that." And he was like, "Oh, you want to layer?" And he was like, "Oh, you want to?" I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "You want to stack?" And things that I had never been able to communicate before, I was now communicating to him. And he was like, "Oh, okay." And I didn't recognize the growth in that in the moment until, like, looking back over it. But the real moment where I was able to recognize and pause and stop and see the win was when I would listen to the final product of those covers. And I was like, that's me. That's my voice on those records sounding like that. Like, that's me. That's me. And that was huge. I was like, because it doesn't, it was such a small project, and most people did the project by simply recording themselves in, I'm not even gonna say that. It doesn't matter. Some people toss the project to the side as if it was just a regular day. And some of the people that I was in school with, they record on a regular basis. So it really didn't matter. It wasn't that big of a deal to them. It truly was just like another day, another project, another thing. But I was also in another class called Studio Singers, and that class made me feel like shit. It made me feel like crap. It made me feel like, oh my goodness, you sound terrible on a record. And I really thought it, I was like, actually, maybe I'm actually a bad singer. Maybe I'm actually pretty terrible at this. Maybe singing ain't for me. In reality, the songs that were chosen for us to record really only catered to a certain vocal type, certain style. It didn't necessarily cater to various people, and not one, not one song that was chosen catered to anybody that really sang in the realm of music that I did. And yeah, so it made me second guess my vocal abilities and and because there's some people who sound great live but sound terrible in the studio, and vice versa. They sound great in the studio, terrible live for whatever reasons. Da 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 da. And so I just was like, oh, maybe that ain't the route for me. Maybe I do sound bad. Maybe nah. But listening back to those 2 covers that recorded, it sounded like a professional recording. And I just was like in awe that that was me. And I had, because I did a music camp like when I was 17 going into my senior year. So I had that, and that was a professional recording in a studio with engineers that do that for a living. They were already out working in the world. I'm not trying to demean or minimize my producer engineer and his skills and his level, but we were both still in school. So the level of experience was different. Um, and that's all I'm pointing out. And so I had that recording from when I was 17 to compare to the recording from when I think I was 22, 21, 22. And the maturity, the growth, not in just my skill, not in my technical capabilities, but even in my artistry. And like I said, looking back even over just the process of recording those covers, the way I was able to communicate what I wanted, how I wanted my voice to sound, the things that I wanted to plug in and plug out, and how I wanted to layer in my voice, and even my ear being able to hear certain harmonies that weren't necessarily easy harmonies to hear or typical harmonies. It was in the moment, I was moving so fast, though I did not recognize it in the moment until he sent me the final version. And I was like, that's me. Oh, maybe I do belong here. Oh my goodness. Like, maybe I do belong here. And y'all were like, you were almost at the end and you're just now coming like, oh, maybe I do. Y'all, music school ain't for the weak. Music school will humble you so quick. Music school ain't for the weak. I cannot tell you how many people, they said my freshman year, my freshman class of music majors was the biggest class. Like, we had the biggest turnover rate in people switching majors. Okay, freshman year. We ain't even into the thick of it yet. Freshman year. Okay. So if you have anybody that's in music school, whether that's for music education, music performance, music therapy, music, anything, if they're going to school for music, check on them. Check on them because we be going insane. Okay. But that was such a sidebar. But being able to recognize, pause, slow down. I cannot tell you how many times I played those songs on repeat because I was just in amazement, in astonishment, and not in a prideful way. I just genuinely had not taken the time to recognize my growth, and that was a win. That was a win, and I needed it, and it grounded me in the present, in my reality. And then moving forward, I had to learn how to speak up again for myself. I had to learn how to advocate again for myself because I would through some things and heartbreak and all the things and yada yada yada. And I lost my voice along the way from music school, heartbreak, life, college, friendship loss. There was a lot of things going on in my world, and I lost my voice. I lost my ability to speak up. And it started with such a small moment where it was with the professor about a moment that I didn't agree with. And it was in that same pop styles class, actually. And it wasn't necessarily that my professor did anything wrong because they didn't. We had to sing a song, choose a cover for the actual pop music style genre portion of the class. And I emailed them like 3 choices. At this point, they didn't know my voice. They had no clue about what my sound was and all those things. And so I just genuinely, I didn't want to choose songs that were comfort and stuff like that. And so I also was pushing myself, and it was a lot of things going on. But I did have I did have 2 out of the 3 songs. I was hoping she would have chosen, 2. It was 2 that I was really leaning more towards, but they were kind of similar and along the same lines. And of course, she chose a song that was not in alignment with any with those other 2. And like, I can't blame her for it. None of that, because come to find out, just about everybody did a pop ballad or something very similar to a pop ballad that day. And so I understood why she chose the song she chose. But it wasn't necessarily about her song choice. It was really about how we rushed through things, and how after I sang my song, it just was like crickets in there. Once again, another class where I was like, oh, am I sure I'm supposed to be here? Because nobody had, like, it was such a tear down moment for me at that time when literally I heard every single person in there get up there and sing, and everybody did not sound great. Hell, everybody didn't even just sound remotely good. And yet somebody had something positive to say about their performance. At least one person, one student, one of my classmates had something positive to say about every performance. And like I said, I was looking at some of them like, okay. And then when it got my turn, it was crickets in there. And it wasn't the good crickets, like everybody was in amazement and awe. No, it was because I sounded bad. It was because it was a terrible song choice, terrible key, and I was nervous. Oh my goodness. It was bad. It was so bad. And but I had to speak up for myself with the professor because, like I said, it wasn't because of her song choice. It wasn't because of none of those things. It was simply because of how it was handled, and I didn't agree with how it was handled in the class. And so I didn't speak up and say anything to her in front of any of the students, in front of my peers or anything. I pulled her to the side, had a sidebar conversation, and let her know. And she apologized because she genuinely didn't realize that it was that happened. And to her, that wasn't how it processed in her brain and how it played out. But to me, because of everything else, I had this view on how it happened, and it really dampened my, I was spiraling. And having the courage to speak up for myself in that small moment because of it. And when I tell y'all, it was so quick. I promise that whole interaction of me singing no critiques and all like that dead silence, it felt like an eternity to me. But in reality, it maybe was like 5 to 7 minutes. Not a lot of time at all. But to me, it felt like forever. It felt, because when I tell you, it was dead silent in there. It was dead silent. No one had a comment. And I'm just looking. I'm like, mm, mm. And the amount of negative thoughts that were running through my brain. Yeah. So, but I took some power back and spoke up and I advocated for myself. And that was a win. Because like I said, I had a lot of stuff going on, and at that time, I lost my voice, and I just not that I lost the willpower to speak up for myself. I really just I had let the world beat me down so bad. I had let things in my life beat me down so bad and beat me into this tiny box that I was so scared to break out of. And me speaking up for myself in that moment was me starting to knock away at that shell, knock away at the corners of, chip away at the cardboard just a little bit, just a little. It was a start. And I can sit back and recognize that. And now we're going to fast forward to now. And just like my present day wins and how I've walked away from situations that don't serve me, walked away from things that don't pour into me, that drain me, and just choosing myself and speaking my truth and not allowing the world, not allowing circumstances, not allowing situations and others' opinions weigh me down. And it doesn't not, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's been all sunshine and rainbows, like it's been easy. It has been a process, and I still stumble along the way, and I'm still learning because I don't always get it right. I don't always get it right because sometimes I choose to speak up for myself and advocate and say something at the wrong time. It was not called for. It was unnecessary, and my time it can be a little bad. I do also still struggle with slowing down because I do still find myself rushing, and beyond that, because I don't always slow down and I do find myself rushing sometimes, I don't always see the growth in the moment. I have to take the time to sit and reflect back. And I don't see it until I reflect back. Um, and that's where the grace comes in, is because I am getting better and I am learning and growing into it. And with every win, small, big, whatever, every time I take the time to recognize it, is one step closer to me being present and connected to my life and being present and grounded in the moment and being grounded in myself. Like, that's the truth. I'm still learning. I still have mistakes. I still slip up sometimes, and I have to be like, whoa, pause. Like I tell you, pause, take a beat. And I have to still remind myself of that. And yeah, and for me, like I said, well, I don't know if I've said this, but for me, small wins are my pause button in life. They create presence and create opportunities for me to be grounded in the present, in my actual reality, not in the demented negative version that the world tries to put on you. And like I said, we live in such a microwave time where everything is so instant. And if you don't have instant gratification or if you don't see results immediately, it can feel so stifling and depressing and draining. So being able to pause life, you in reality, you can't pause life. But taking time to slow down and recognize a win for me is a way for me to put a pause on life. And like I said, it creates presence and opportunity for me to be present and grounded in the moment. And so my encouragement to you is this, and to start small, and not necessarily start small and start with the smallest win that you don't even recognize as a win, or the world told you wasn't a win. If it felt like a win to you, it's a win. So start there. Take the time to pause and reflect and truly start at the smallest win, even if that win is simply waking up and truly learning to be grateful to wake up and see another day. Fake it till you believe it. Not fake it till you make it. Fake it till you believe it. Because I've been seeing this quote that's been going around about I don't even want to butcher it. Something like the more persistent you are, then something, and then the more consistent you are, then something, and the more grateful you are, the more you attract it. Of course, I remember the end, but fake it until you believe it. Keep going. Keep trying. Keep doing the thing. If you have to keep starting over, just keep starting. Like, no, you're on nobody's time. Nobody's time clock. Her path, her pace. This is your path. This is at your pace. So do it on your terms. That's the point. Do it on your terms. And that's what matters. Taking the time to acknowledge and see the wins everywhere you are. Because then you'll see the growth. Then you'll be able to take pause and then you'll be able to breathe. Because, like I said, we are in a very microwave society and life can feel like you're not moving fast enough, like you're behind, like you're always playing catch up. But for me, and my advice to you, my encouragement to you is taking into account those small wins, making it until you believe it, tricking your body and mind into believing it until you can truly believe it and genuinely feel it. Because you'll wake up one day and be like, oh, I like that. I do. And that's just that's what matters. Because every win matters. Building something, even if you can't see it, whatever your win is, it is yours. And yours to own. Because it counts and it matters. Every single Now we have made it to Letters Along the Way, and this is the time where I would love to hear your voices and your stories and things that you have learned in life and lessons that you would like to share. Also, if you would like to write in and get some advice from me, I'm not certified, I ain't licensed. I'm telling y'all based off of my own life experience, and I can give you my opinion and give it the best shot I got. But yeah, you can write those letters in and email them to lettersalongtheway@gmail.com. That is LETTERSALONGTHE way@gmail.com. All right. Now we're on to Grace Notes. So, the grace note for this week is simply every step forward matters, even the ones no one sees, even the ones you almost missed, especially those. You don't have to have it all figured out, you just got to be here. And you can let that be enough for right now. And the quote that I want to leave you with from the famous Oprah Winfrey is, the more you praise and celebrate your life, the more there is in life to celebrate. I want you to hold on to that and remember that as we close out this episode. Once again, I want to thank you all for joining me and walking and being in step and all of the things this week. I hope I said something to encourage you. I hope I said something to help you grow. Even if I didn't, just thank you for being here and thank you for the support and love. Yes, so remember, we are still doing 75-day challenge. I will, if I can remember to actually figure out what day we're technically all supposed to be on, I'll remind you guys of that. So, but don't forget, hashtag HPHP 75-day challenge and all of the things. Don't forget to write in your letters, sharing your stories, your life lessons that you would like to share with anybody. And if you may have advice, like I said, give it my best shot. Go ahead and follow the podcast at Her Path, Her Pace on all platforms. And you can follow me, the host, at Rashay, also on all platforms. Turn on those post bell notifications, like, share, comment, subscribe, and all of the things to let the world know, let your folks know that we are here, that I exist, that we are all in this together, that can join in on the family, and all of those things. But yeah, thank you guys once again. Thank you. I can't say it enough. And until next week, guys, remember to pause, breathe, take a beat, and don't forget to give yourself some grace. See you next week. Bye.